Oh my god, they actually showed off some Iron Fist, so let's break it down. It's so glad to see that Loras Tyrell is still alive somewhere in the Marvel Universe. So what's going on here is they're just giving you a taste of his backstory and his abilities. Like he punches the wall out, smiles a little bit. So clearly this is after he's been to Kunlun and has come back. So young Danny Rand goes down in a plane crash, finds the mystic city of Kunlun, or is found by those people. And this is where the Marvel Netflix stuff really starts jumping into Thor territory in terms of mythology. So I don't know how they're going to change this on the TV show, or if it's going to be straight up from the comics. They've been relatively faithful with the other stuff. So the mystic city of Kunlun is actually like this pocket dimension. So they might weave that in with the backstory of the Chaste and the Hand, just because the Hand seems like it's going to be the big villain for the Defenders team-up series, and because that gets into really mystical territory, naturally Iron Fist is the best place to set that up, just because of the nature of his powers. So there are a couple big ideas for the Iron Fist character. You may have seen some of the promotional material. So Rand Meacham is the law firm that Jaren Hogarth from Jessica Jones works for. She's one of the attorneys for Danny Rand's family. So if you didn't know, Danny Rand, in the context of the Marvel Universe, is one of these really wealthy people. He's kind of the Tony Stark of the Defenders in that way. They need money for some cool toys. He's the one that Daredevil would go to. So everybody knows Danny Rand becomes Iron Fist. But what you didn't know is that Danny's father, the person who started their big business with Harold Meacham, his business partner, had actually been to this mystic city of Kunlun before. He discovered it as a boy, then came back to the world, developed this big business, had this family. Eventually, he tried to go back to the mystic city, but ended up dying in an accident. He was betrayed by his business partner, but Danny Rand survived, proved a very apt pupil, then came back and eventually sought revenge on Harold Meacham for his betrayal. So there'll probably be shades of that revenge story in the Iron Fist series. There's that voice in the trailer that says, "Hello, Daniel." That's probably Harold Meacham. This is actually the actor that they cast to play him. You probably recognize him from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Like, oh, you didn't die all those years ago as a boy, and you're back, and you learned that I'm somewhat responsible for the death of your family. But obviously it gets much bigger than that. And then you have Heroes for Hire. This is actually where it gets really fun. And they just become this crime-fighting duo. Misty Knight is a part of it. So I'm expecting a lot of crossover with Luke Cage's series, in the way that Luke Cage is very connected to Jessica Jones. So who is the big villain of the Iron Fist series, do you ask? Well, because Madame Gao's heroine, I think it was heroin that she's dealing, has the steel serpent symbol on it, so I'm expecting Madame Gao to be like this larger, ethereal villain in the sense of Iron Fist, but I'm hoping that the steel serpent himself will be an actual villain during the series, because he's kind of like the dark version of Iron Fist. So when Danny Rand was learning about the mystic arts, he apprenticed to this person. That person also had another son who coveted the power of Iron Fist. So naturally, when Danny Rand received it, he was very jealous and then sought Iron Fist out, tried to kill him to take his power from him. So because most of these Netflix series are central to New York, I think the Harold Meacham revenge story will be a bigger thing. Like Danny Rand left to die, survives, comes back with all this power. Very easy to follow revenge arc. But then, obviously then he finds out about the larger war between the Hand and the Chaste, finds greater purpose. You have the presence of Stick. I don't know if Stick is going to cross over, but what I'm expecting is because the Hand crosses over with the Daredevil comics, I'm expecting them to blend a lot of the Daredevil mythology with the Iron Fist mythology. So we'll see how they weave the Kunlun in with the idea of the Chaste and the Hand. But when you watch Daredevil Season 2, Stick kind of implies that he's this very famous person called the Chaste, and that's why the Order is called the Chaste. So is he a man, or is he this mystic figure who's lived for 1,000 years? You're just made to question those things. They want it to feel very real. But as we've gotten on in the narrative, especially with Daredevil Season 2, things are pushing into this very mystical territory. So it's a lot like the idea of blending the Avengers with the Thor mythology. Like you have your standard superhero fare, like Daredevil, street level hero. Then you have your fantasy elements like Danny Rand's power. So I'll be really interested to see the way that they weave that in. Really cool stuff are his powers though. So he harnesses the power of Chi, he learned that, but he also, in addition to that, he gains superhuman abilities by plunging his hands into the molten heart of a dragon, absorbing its energy. So I don't know how they're going to weave that part in. It's a lot easier for them to explain his powers as him just harnessing his chi. It doesn't require a lot of special effects. He can focus his chi to heal himself faster. He has enhanced abilities, like in the way Captain America has enhanced abilities. He's a natural human who's had his biology turned up to 11. So Iron Fist can do that, but he uses his chi to achieve that state. and he can also telepathically communicate with other people. They might weave that into the series. The only thing I'm certain about is the Chi stuff, just because it plays really well with the way they portrayed the rest of this Netflix universe. They don't really show her in the trailer here, but like I said, Jaren Hogarth is going to be really important for the series, and Colleen Wing. You may remember Jessica Henwick from Game of Thrones. She was Nymeria Sand on Game of Thrones. She was Jessica Pava during Star Wars. She was one of the X-Wing fighter pilots during Star Wars The Force Awakens. So she's this martial arts badass, so expect her to be palling around with Iron Fist, like helping him out in the way that Misty Knight will help Luke Cage out. Like there is a romance between Colleen Wing and Danny Rand. So because this isn't going to be dropping till the spring of next year, I wouldn't expect like another really big trailer until Luke Cage drops in September. And I am expecting Danny Rand to appear somewhere in Luke Cage. Like there will be other Defenders appearing in Luke Cage's series, but we really don't know exactly how that's going to go down. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about Iron Fist? Obviously this is just a very short trailer, it's just meant to give you an idea for his backstory, what his abilities will look like on screen, just like him punching through the wall here. You can see it's a much more martial arts driven take on what Captain America's abilities are. Just a normal guy who's had his abilities turned up to 11 and who is a martial arts badass. But the Marvel giveaway is still going on, and because it's been a couple days, I'll go ahead and name a new winner now. So congratulations, Jonathan Edwards, you win a $20 Amazon gift card. Just be sure to private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. It's just a $20 Amazon gift card. So I'll start a new round now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. There will be a whole lot of Marvel stuff happening on Saturday. That's when all the movie panels are happening. So tonight is going to be Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, so I'll be posting updates on Twitter and Facebook on when those videos are going to post. So Comic-Con hype train continues. Happy Comic-Con Day 2. So while you guys wait for my next video to post, you can click here for my Defenders break, like my big team-up trailer breakdown, and you can click here for my Luke Cage trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.